Hey, hello, good day everyone. This is JJ from Shadowing the Big Boys. So today's topic will be very interesting for the new traders and also the developing traders, which is on the 5 things that you need to know about successful forex traders. So these are the 5 things that I felt that will be key to understanding how the successful trader actually thinks and how we can actually emulate them in terms of getting ourselves more consistently profitable. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to actually proceed with the disclaimer first, of course. So the disclaimer will cover the things like the content covered here will be intended for referencing and educational purposes only. So yeah, these are only for referencing purposes and not to be used for your investment decision. Okay, Okay, so for the first thing that I would like to share with you all is having an edge. So what is actually having an edge? So having an edge is actually meaning to say that you have a way or a method or the strategy that you will trade that will actually put you in the which will put your odds in your favor. So it is actually a holistic range of things which it can comprises of strategy that you use, the time frame that you want to trade in, and also the key levels that you are actually trading off from. So there are also of course other things that you can take into consideration, be it the position size that you are trading, or it can also be the morning routine that you have before you actually um, have a trading plan for yourself. So those are things that is also considered the things that is inside the edge that you have against the other market players or market traders per se. So yes, so these are things that you can actually work on them individually or work on them one at a time. So meaning to say that, for example, let's say you have a strategy of engulfing candles that you would like to trade on, you can actually focus on that first to be sort of like a master on engulfing candles, or be it maybe it can be a level identification that you want to be good at. So these are the small things that you can work on individually, so that along the time you can actually expand on your edge when you're more proficient with each of these individual small little things. Yeah, it can be strategy, it can be the time frame that you trade on. So yeah, just focus on a small part first, and then after that expand from there to improve your edge further. Okay, then the next one that I want to mention is, of course, think in terms of how much you would like to risk instead of how much you are going to make from this particular trade. So what I mean by this is, I think if you have been long enough in the trading scene, you should also know that it means that how much you are willing to actually lose per trade. So meaning to say that even before you enter the trade, you know that, okay, for this trade I'm going to risk maybe say 30 pips, or let's say 2% of my trading account. So that's the risk that you would like to associate with for this trade. So it is actually an inescapable part in trading. Risk is always there, because once you put on the trade, you will have the risk of, let's say, getting it stop loss in a few minutes, or it can be in a few seconds, depending on what is the time frame that you are trading at. So risk is of course always there. So it actually that bothers me a bit when a lot of traders actually don't really do that in terms of risk management. Like, even like simple things like putting a stop loss before you, I mean I mean after you have execute the trade, putting a stop loss is not a requirement in most of the traders. So this is actually a very risky stuff to do, because you don't know how much you are going to risk. And then also in one part I would also like to do is to give you a small tip in terms of putting this risk management a bit more conceptual. which is the way that you can do it is in terms of putting a risk of percentage of your trading account, or talking in terms of putting 30 pips risk. You can actually put it in terms of telling yourself you are going to risk $100 for this trade. Is it worth it? So is this trade actually worth your $100 risk? Instead of asking yourself, is it worth your 30 pip or 2% of your trading account? Because in that way, it will give a value to that particular trade, which will be more related to the human nature. Because once we hear the numbers, once we hear about how much we are going to risk or how much we might be losing, then it will be more associated with us. So this is something that additional that I want to share with you. And then the third one is losing and winning. So for the successful forex trader, they don't look at winning and losing. It is just part and parcel, and of course winning and losing is not the key parameters for them. What they are actually looking out for is not high win rates, which you can see that it doesn't really equate to high profit. And also high win rate are for people who wants to win. Of course, people for human nature that we want to win. Nobody like to lose. But the thing is that we need to change our thinking. We should not go in the direction where, like in cases of some trading guru, they actually like to market high win rate setup. But high win rate, of course, they are also on the downside, which maybe the risk and reward ratio is only 0.5% or not 0.5%, sorry, maybe it's only 50%, which is meaning to say that if you risk $1, you only get back 50 cents. So for successful forex trader, what they actually look out for is, instead they train their mind to think differently, where they want to maximize the winning trades and cutting on the losing trade. So for example, if let's say you have a trade that is giving you a risk and reward ratio of 3:1, you can actually in the long run win even if you are only 50% right. So in the long run, you can actually get up to 20% in return. Instead, with a low win rate, you can actually win money in the market, rather than you let's say you chasing for the high win rate setup, where once you don't get the high win rate, you actually lose money in the long run. Okay, so that's the thing that I want to share with you in terms of winning and losing. Don't look at it in terms of high win rate or stuff like that. Look at it rather than in the way where you want to maximize your winning trade and cutting on your losing trade. Okay, and then the fourth thing that I want to share with you is actually know when to walk away. So it's actually very important to know when to walk away, be it after a winning trade or a losing trade. So after a winning trade, of course, we as a human being, we will tend to get greedy as well. We want to double down to actually increase our lot size for the next trade, because we think that the next trade will be a winning trade, and greed took over us, and sometimes we will take suboptimum trade setup in that sense. So likewise, in losing trade, it will be the same. We tend to look for ways to get back into the market when we lose in one of the trade that we are trading in, and then we will jump into the suboptimum trade setup that normally you would not enter. Or even worse, you might also increase your lot size from say 1% of your account into 10%. That will actually create a very bad vicious cycle, where you will go into revenge trading and stuff like that, which will blow your account eventually if you continue to do that. So yeah, likewise, this will be important when to know that you need to walk away. Maybe you can have just walk around your living room, or let's say go for coffee or things like that, just to break away from the trading desk. Okay, so that it can help you as well. So it's important to know when to walk away. And lastly, of course, never to give up. So what I mean by never give up, of course, from the word itself, is never to give up in forex trading. So if you give up, you will never be able to become a successful forex trader, which is consistently profitable. So yeah, never give up. If that's your passion, if that's what is driving you to every day look at the chart, every day trade, and then that is really something that you like, you should never give up. And of course, I understand that this can be the hardest endeavor that you have undertake, but I would like to say that for this endeavor, it will be very worthwhile when you actually finally achieve what you actually wanted to have in terms of your goal as a trader, in terms of the monetary target that you might have, or things like that. So yes, with passion and perseverance, you are able to succeed as a successful forex trader that can profit consistently in the forex market. Okay, so with all this, I would like to come to an end for these 5 things that I want to discuss with you, and hopefully that you can actually get some pointers and hints from here to become the next successful forex trader. And all the best to you, and hope to see you all soon. And yes, before we end this, I would like to actually remind you all to click on the like and the subscribe button if you have enjoyed the video. And thank you very much for your attention. Bye.